Do you want to know what separates millionaire coaches and consultants from everybody else? That's exactly what we're going to dive into today. You see, after selling over $6 million of coaching and consulting online myself and helping my clients generate many, many more millions, I figured out that top performers are really only focusing on 3 key areas. And in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly what they are so that you can avoid wasting time on all these other areas. Okay. You see, most coaches and consultants are chasing endless tactics, strategies. They're juggling multiple platforms, multiple activities. They're spreading themselves too thin, and they're ultimately in a constant state of confusion about where they should be really investing their time, their energy, their money, what's really going to move the needle. Okay, you're going to leave this video with clarity around exactly that. It all boils down to 3 key areas, and pretty much everything else is noise. Okay, so let's dive into number 1 without delay. Number 1 is building the ecosystem. Okay, the way people buy 4, 5, and 6-figure offers online in 2025 is they'll find you, they'll read an email, they'll follow an Instagram post, they'll watch 1, 2, 3, 5 YouTube videos, then life gets in the way for a couple of weeks, then they see a remarketing ad, and then that takes them over to a funnel. They might buy a low ticket offer, and then they ultimately ascend up. What I've just articulated to you is what happens when you engineer an ecosystem. Okay, now most coaches and consultants are posting randomly, sporadically, and rarely sending emails. There's disconnected tactics. Okay, the solution to this is to zoom out a bit and build an ecosystem that runs 24/7, 365. Okay, now there's some key elements that your prospects really need to see. All right, they need to be hearing from you regularly. There should be something going out from your brand every single day in some way, shape, or form, depending on the platforms that you are on. Obviously, that is going to dictate the style, the tone, the media that you ultimately create. But the consistency and the regularity is a critical point. Okay, they need deep dive content, right? They need more than the 3-line Instagram post, right? As I'm sitting here today, it's Friday. Every day this week, I've onboarded a new client, and every single one of them has binged this YouTube channel at some point. They all told me that individually. Okay. And so deep dive content, longer form videos, longer form emails where people can actually spend time with you is critical. All right. Regular valuable emails. It's exactly what I just touched on, right? It's about spending time together, longer form things that go deeper into who you are, what you do, your models, your strategies, your results, your intellectual property, your frameworks, all these kind of things. People need to really spend that time with you first so that they can make sure that you're the right person for them. Okay. They're going to need to see some form of free or entry level offers, something where they can get a taste, something where they can get a feel for what you're all about, your teaching style, your values, right? Beyond just the social media content. This ties into the longer form content, giving people more to chew on before they make that big investment. They're going to need to see social proof. And this comes in a few different ways. This is, social proof of the clients that you're working with. Your own results are critical. And then the big one, and this is a mistake that I've made investing with people, is they're going to want to see that you live the life that they ultimately want on the other side of whatever it is that you do, be that relationship coaching, health, fitness, money. It doesn't matter. If your life isn't congruent with the transformation that you're promising, it's not going to work. That's the ultimate social proof, is do you, the person selling this approach, live the life that is aligned to that transformation? That's the ultimate social proof. Okay. And then multiple content formats, so that, they can go for a run and listen to a YouTube video, and then they can read an email. And this all just comes together to create a powerful ecosystem that's strategically designed. Okay. Now, within that, we create the ecosystem so that we're building a deep pipeline of people who know who we are, who know what we do. And then the deeper that pipeline gets, each day, the timing is going to line up for one or multiple of those people. And that's how you generate the consistency in clients. Okay. We need people to understand who we are, our values, our lifestyle, our vision for what we're building. We need them to clearly understand what we do, our expertise, our results, our methodology. And then we need to demonstrate that consistently as I've just articulated, so that when the timing is right for them, we're the option that they ultimately move forward with. Okay. If we want to break down some core elements of this ecosystem before we jump into a model, I really want automated and I want diversified growth. And so what I mean by that is I want multiple strategies running around the clock that I'm not cranking the handle on, so that every day when I wake up, more people know who I am than they did the day before. Okay. I want content going out on one or multiple social platforms every single day. I want a strategic lead magnet. This is what I call a rabbit hole resource. It's like this document here. All right. This is a 25-page deep dive into my entire model. Okay. It breaks it all down. So someone can go through this and be like, yep, I vibe, or no, I don't. And then, they can go in either direction. You can get a copy of that in the description. This nurtures 24/7, 365. I make it once, I update it when it needs updating, and then it just cranks. It just cranks. It's always getting into new people's hands. Okay. I want regular emails because we own our email list, and it's a different form of communication. You're entering someone's inbox. It's more personalized. Like I said, I want long form content. I want case studies, results. I want social proof that you're living the life that is congruent with the outcomes that you promise. When I say living the life, I don't mean Lambos and bullshit, right? Like if you're a fitness coach, you better be in good shape is what I'm trying to communicate to you, right? And then optional, but very, very powerful and isn't time consuming if you follow the approach that I take is a free community, right? Is somewhere where people can get more resources and they can learn more about you, okay? When we ultimately get this rocking and rolling, you get this flywheel effect where they find you, they engage and consume, they ultimately buy. You could add another layer in here, which is they buy and they ascend. They buy and they ascend and they stick around. They ultimately get the results, and then they become an advocate. Okay, so if we jump over here, this is the model of what I've just articulated, but in a graphical format, right? We've got the top, middle, bottom, and post funnel. If we look at the top of the funnel, remember I said over here we want automated and diversified growth. Okay, and so we've got playbooks that we execute on that gets organic growth, that gets paid growth on our key platforms, and your ecosystem may look slightly different. I custom design this with each client that I bring on in the academy and in my inner circle. The links to those are below. But we've got playbooks that ensure that every single day new people know who you are. We also want our assets and our story and our methodologies in front of other people's audiences, pointing it back towards us. And then we want word of mouth happening, which is ultimately where the whole model feeds back on itself. We want a robust top of funnel strategy so that new people are finding us every day. Okay. Now, the people that enter the top of funnel rapidly move into the middle of the funnel. And this is where the majority of the magic happens. This is the emails. This is the YouTube videos that you're watching right now. This is the low ticket offers. If you want to see examples of that, you can go to jacobcaris.com/workshops. This is, the Instagram stories, kind of intraday stuff where it's really relevant to the people who already know who you are. Okay. And then these things in my business anyway, ultimately feed the DMs and they feed email, and just send people to links like in the description, that land clients. Okay. Once they become a client, onboard and deliver, retain and ascend, with certain folks, we may explore partnerships, revenue share, performance, kind of quasi-equity structures, and then compound, which is where the word of mouth kicks in. Okay. When I talk about the ecosystem here, in particular, I'm talking about the top and the middle of funnel. This is where every single day you need to be investing a good chunk of energy to grow it and to nurture the relationships with the people who are already in your ecosystem, because it is immediately what feeds the sales process. And the better job you do out here, the easier sales becomes. When you nail this, this is how you eliminate sales calls. Okay, topic for another day. But that's point number one, is building a killer ecosystem. All right. And when you nail this as well, you don't need the biggest ecosystem in the world. I mentioned back over here, $6 million in sales, coaching and consulting. My audience is like 30,000 people across all platforms. That's like unheard of. Okay. So that's number one. Number two is honing your craft. Okay. Now, remember, when you're selling coaching, consulting, advice, information, in a lot of ways, you are the product. That is what people are buying. It's just that how it is packaged up varies. In some cases, like, in my inner circle, I work with people one-to-one. In that case, it's packaged up as one-to-one support. In a workshop, it's packaged up as a recorded video. In an intensive, it might be packaged up in 1 or multiple days or a month, depending on how long it runs for. But they're ultimately paying for proximity and for access so that they can tap into these things, right? Experience, your intellectual property, customization, being able to shortcut past pitfalls that you've worked through already, clarity and confidence. This is a massive one. People pay so that they can ask a question and you can go do it this way, right? There's some horror stories around this shit. Real-time feedback, right? My one-to-one clients I work with, we do like asynchronous text message and audio message support, so we can do things in real time, and it's not like, well, just wait for a call in like a week or whatever. We can just get it done now, and this is especially relevant for people who are kind of scaling. Strategic accountability. This comes in a couple of ways, but someone going, how'd you go with that thing you said you were going to do? But also accountability from the perspective of paying and, lighting a bit of fire under your ass. Level-headed guidance, like someone that doesn't get emotional because they're a bit removed from the situation. And then as a result of that, they can provide objective insights and a fresh perspective, ideally because they've experienced it before, okay, in some way, shape or form. Okay, and so dialing in your craft comes down to a couple of areas. This is product refinement. This is your coaching skills. This is your own personal well-being. Like if your health, physical, mental is out of alignment, you're going to struggle to show up as a good operator, right? You're going to lack clarity. You're going to be, if your hormones are all over the place, you're going to be emotional, all these kind of things, right? You want to be continuously learning, and you want to be, living what it is that you talk about. And so honing the craft is the second big area, from the products and the offers to your own skills, to your own well-being, to your own continuous learning, and really making sure that you walk the walk. This is the second big area. When you pair this level of mastery and improvement of your offers and improvement of your skills with the ecosystem, this is where you get what most people are chasing, which is people coming to you ready to rock and roll. Okay, and the better that you are at your craft, the more value you've got to the market, which flows into pricing and ease of sales and all these kind of things. So that's the second point. The third one is once you've executed on those two, and you've got a growing ecosystem and you've got a growing client base, the next thing that happens is with growth, you get complexity, mess, and chaos. Okay, it's just a natural byproduct. The solution to this is what I call eliminate, automate, delegate, and iterate. The first thing we want to do is we want to map every step. Skipping ahead a little bit here, but we want to map every step from front to back of the business. Every little single task along the way, from me hitting record to film an ad, which could be a first touch point to a cold audience in that top of funnel that we were talking about, all the way to the very last touch point with a highest level client where they start referring us people and word of mouth and the whole system feeds back on itself. Every little micro step along the way, and we want to make sure that we know who's the owner of that respective task. Okay, once we've got this list, which can take some time to do the first time that you go through this exercise, eliminate the shit that's not necessary. Okay, eliminate the offers, eliminate the platforms, eliminate the strategies and the tactics and the legacy stuff. Eliminate the shit that's not aligned anymore. Right? It's a deeply cathartic exercise. Once you've got a trimmed down list and a much more efficient shell, then we want to go through and automate with tools, with AI, with whatever. We're tapping into a higher form of leverage here. We're tapping into code as opposed to people, which is the next step. And it's with the elimination exercise done, with the automation exercise done, what is left? Then we look at, okay, what am I going to keep and what am I going to delegate? Okay, we do that, and then over time we iterate on it and get more and more dialed in. And I would recommend every 30 to 90 days you review this in some capacity. This will keep things lean, keep your costs down, will give you more time to invest back into your craft and into your ecosystem, and it's going to keep your growth a lot more sustainable Okay, rather than just like, because it's not natural for things to just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger without being trimmed. Same in life. It's like spring cleaning. Yeah. And so this is the third area. This is really a byproduct of the first two, is when you invest the time and the energy into the first two areas, making a more and more robust ecosystem, honing your craft across all of these areas, the natural byproduct is you're going to make more money, you're going to sign more clients. When you make more money, sign more clients, that's going to create complexity, mess, chaos, and then this is how we clean it up. Okay, so they're the three big areas. I hope you found that helpful. If you'd like my help deploying any of these or all of them, regardless of where you're at right now, if you're under 10K a month, check out the Lifestyle Business Academy. It's linked in the description. If you're over 10K a month, the Inner Circle is going to be a better fit. There's a link in the description for that as well. You can check it out and then fill out an application. But yeah, these are the big three. And been in this game a long time, and I've worked with a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of shit. And if you invest your time and your energy here, you'll do well. Cheers.